Ahead on 12 News, train for a worst-case scenario. How Hennepin County medical professionals are prepped and ready for Ebola. Plus, the future of police communications. We step inside the new 911 center nearly ready to open in Plymouth. And a little later, not your typical church.
We wanted to just do something different. We wanted to do something where people could come in and have a place to belong.
A Maple Grove church known for a much different worship experience. 12 News starts right now. Hello, and thanks for joining us. We start tonight with a developing story involving an adults correction officer and facility in Plymouth.
A federal grand jury has indicted a Hennepin County correctional officer for her role in a methamphetamine ring. A county spokesperson says Ashley Mariakas has worked at the county workhouse in Plymouth since January. She was named, along with 10 other people, in a 15-count federal indictment. She is charged with distributing methamphetamine. This is the second time this year an adult corrections worker in Plymouth has been indicted. In May, a former jail guard was charged with buying guns for a convicted gang member. As new possible Ebola cases emerge in Texas and now Washington, D.C., Minnesota hospitals say they are ready should the virus pop up here.
Officials from Hennepin County Medical Center say they have a host of policies and protocols ready to go in a worst-case scenario. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. Delane?
Mike and Alex, HCMC officials say that with the number of international flights coming through here and the robust Liberian community, the Twin Cities are at a higher risk for seeing an Ebola patient than any average metropolitan area. But hospital officials say they're ready.
It's really an expectation that if your hospital provides intensive care services, that you're able to take care of these patients. It's not rocket science, but we at HCMC do feel that because of the populations we care for and our agreements, that we want to make sure that we're on our game as best that we can be.
HCMC has an agreement with the Centers for Disease Control to receive any patients isolated at the Twin Cities Airport because of concern for a fever or other symptoms. Today, hospital officials held a news conference to showcase the isolation area as well as the protective equipment worn by medical personnel who would treat Ebola patients. Doctors say they even went through additional training this week to ensure they're prepared.
It's been a really good partnership, I think, between the community and the hospitals in the area, and hopefully this is all just training for something that we don't have to put into effect, but if it is, then at least we're several steps more prepared.
Meantime, HCMC officials say they've been working with the health department to reach out to the local African communities most at risk for Ebola. Health officials have stressed to them that if they have any symptoms, to come in early, because the earlier doctors can treat the patients, the better the outcome will be. Mike?
All right, thank you. Hennepin County officials cut the ribbon today on a new 911 center in Plymouth. The new $34 million facility is nearly ready to move in. It replaces one in Golden Valley that has served the county for more than 60 years. The new building has more space and is designed to keep pace with changing technology. In the near future, dispatchers will be able to relay pictures or video from citizens at the scene of an incident.
You see now folks taking out their iPhones, cell phones, videotaping, sending text messages. But we can't receive those today, but we can. And so the officers or firefighters responding out to the scene to be able to view live video as they're en route to the scene so they can accommodate their response appropriately.
A radio installation and repair shop is already up and running, and the 911 center itself should be open for business by the end of the year.
Golden Valley police have now arrested a suspect they believe is responsible for several burglaries in the city. Police released this photo on Thursday when they were looking for 42-year-old Clarence Robinson. Police say he was arrested when he checked in with the state as a sex offender. He has not been charged, but police say DNA evidence linked him to one of the Golden Valley burglaries. Officials have increased the reward for information about arsonists who burned a brand new playground in Plymouth. A $5,000 reward is now offered to solve the arson case at Plymouth Creek Park. The August fire destroyed playground equipment valued at $81,000. The equipment was still in boxes and about to be assembled.
Eastbound Interstate 94 near Rogers is back open to traffic after a serious accident closed the roadway for a short time this morning. All three lanes of eastbound 94 between Rogers and Maple Grove were blocked while one man was airlifted to the hospital. That person was involved in a single vehicle rollover crash. It's unclear what contributed to the crash, and there's no word on the man's condition. In Plymouth and Maple Grove, look for lane closures starting at 7 o'clock tonight, Friday night, along I-494. Portions of 494 will be reduced to a single lane in each direction. The closures are necessary as crews do work for next year's third lane addition. The southbound lane should reopen Sunday afternoon, and the northbound lane should reopen by 5 a.m. on Monday. Coming up, not your typical church. A Maple Grove ministry uses pop culture and business to connect with people.
And a little bit later in sports, two of the state's top teams battle in volleyball as Hopkins meets Eden Prairie.
But first, bundle up. The weekend forecast calls for temperatures as low as the 30s.
If you have driven through Brooklyn Park or Maple Grove, you've probably seen a few signs advertising a performance of Frozen.
You might be surprised to learn there's a church behind the production, and as Shannon Slatton shows us, it's just one way a Maple Grove church attracts people in a different way.
We just feel like you're going to come here and feel welcome immediately at this school.
There he is.
That we turn into a church every Sunday morning.
You've been singing the songs?
Any expectations you have of what a Sunday church service might be, you can leave them at the door of Maple Grove Senior High.
Rambo.
Hey, how you
What's
doing?
up, man?
With the pastor,
Did you guys have fun today?
with the robot, or even with the train transporting people in from the parking lot.
I think it's incredible to have a church that thinks outside the box.
We want you to like it here.
This isn't your normal church.
There's something new every single Sunday, so it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
But Passion Church wants to be anything but normal.
We wanted to just do something different. We wanted to do something where people could come in and have a place to belong. We wanted a place where people could come in and hear applicable teaching, laugh, and also get the medicine that they need.
4 years ago, Pastor Jonathan Brozazog set out to start a new church in Maple Grove.
We started with 4 people. I had more inches of snow that fell on Saturday night that I woke up to on Sunday that had people in church.
I just want to pray a blessing.
Now more than 1,200 people attend on an average Sunday, even more when there's a big event.
I believe you don't have to be anti-culture to be pro-God. And so I don't see why we can't do Thriller, I don't see why we can't do Blue Man Group, I don't see why we can't do Frozen and still connect to people.
You heard that right. A Michael Jackson impersonator is one of the features of a popular sermon series.
You hear this message on how to overcome fear, and then you see hundreds of people making a decision to have a life change.
Whether high-profile services or just the average ones,
We're pretty excited.
props and equipment must be transported to and from the high school.
We could have up to a dozen here at a time, we could have one here at a time.
But the church turned that problem into an outreach ministry.
We found ourselves renting these all the time because we're portable and hey, we've got to move all these props in and out. And then we thought maybe we should buy a U-Haul truck, but then we thought, why don't we just do U-Haul? Because we would meet everybody moving into our city and whatnot.
A U-Haul franchise at its new Fridley Event Center.
These are just 2 10-foot trucks that we've got in right now. We have the Fridley franchise.
It's one of 3 business ventures the church operates.
When you're reaching people that have never been to church before, many of them, they're not used to giving resource, but they're willing to give their time, willing to give of their heart and their labor.
So instead of passing the offering plate more often, Passion Church sees businesses as a 2-way benefit.
That way we can create a service that's very evangelistic on the front end and also give people an opportunity to raise funds and whatnot for the cause of Christ on the back end.
The church also operates an advertising and website company.
What are the
This past summer, they launched a driving school.
We are always looking for ways to impact the kids in our community, from young age up through teens.
By offering classes at a competitive price, they attract new people and introduce them to Passion Church. The businesses, the performances, all of it is a brand new experience.
I think the church really has to reinvent itself every 7 to 10 years, or we're going to end up like Blockbuster. We're going to end up with empty buildings that turn into museums.
Good time off.
But Passion Church believes a new way is the right way for their Christian message.
I'm not investing money into stained glass. I'm investing money into things that are relevant to our community so that we can reach people.
The church has an office in Maple Grove. This Sunday they start a series on Frozen, the Disney Frozen at Maple Grove Senior High, with services at 9 and 11. And Mike and Alex, it is free, but they do ask that you register on their website just so they can get a head count to know how many people are going to be there.
Huge production.
They do a big deal.
Production.
Thank
Thanks a lot, Shannon.
Well, coming up, an annual fall tradition takes shape in the form of a giant corn maze.
But first in sports, it's a close one as Cooper and Jefferson battle in a key Metro West Conference football game. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back.
And Jay Wilcox now with sports, and an exciting Thursday night football game goes into overtime.
And we're definitely not talking about the Vikings.
No. That would
be high school battle. It was definitely a good one. One team's road to the Metro West Conference title was going to become much harder Thursday night. Two of the co-leaders, Cooper and Bloomington Jefferson, met up in a key game at Bloomington Stadium. On a wet night, the snap gets past Cooper quarterback Philip Howard, and he can't make the recovery. After a scramble, Jefferson winds up with the ball deep in Cooper territory. But on 4th and goal, the Hawks stand strong and deny the touchdown on the Jaguars quarterback sneak, and it stays 0-0 through 1 quarter of play. The rain makes it slick. The Hawks fumble the handoff exchange here, but Howard alertly picks it up and gets to the sideline before he's knocked out of bounds inside the Jefferson 10. Then 4th and goal for Cooper, and Howard rolls right and hits Armani Smith for the touchdown. A 2-point conversion makes it 8-0 Hawks at the half. 3rd quarter, and Howard throws the fade to Jordan Marshall, and he holds on despite the defenders' efforts. Cooper leads 14-0, but they miss a 2-point try. 4th quarter, and Jefferson comes on strong. Jacob Bratton fights his way into the end zone, and the Jaguars tie it up at 14-14 to send the game to overtime. And after Cooper fails to score an OT, Ryan Murray drills a field goal as Jefferson rallies from 14 down to stun the Hawks 17-14 in OT. The Hopkins volleyball team lost its first Lake Conference meeting with Eden Prairie, but came back to beat the Eagles in the Apple Valley tournament. Their 3rd meeting coming at the Lindbergh Center. Set 1 is close all the way. A nice dig by Eden Prairie's Lauren Madison, and then the kill by Briley Nichols, and it's 19-17 Eagles. But Hopkins rallies. The back set by Samantha Seliger-Swenson to Audrey Erickson. It gives the Royals a 25-23 win. Set 2, Hopkins has to come back again. Jasmine Martin's kill makes it 16-14 Eden Prairie. But EP holds on to win the set. Abby Erkey with the kill, and we're tied at 1 set all. Set 3 is tied again. A block by Hopkins' Ruby Moreland ties it up at 16 all. Then on set point, Erickson's hit is off an Eagle blocker for the win, and it's 2-1 Royals. Set 4, the Eagles get some big kills from freshman Grace Person like this one, but the Royals don't fade. Watch the block by Seliger-Swenson for a point here. And on match point, Martin's hit off the blocker and down for the win. Hopkins beats Eden Prairie for the 2nd time in as many weeks. After knocking off Champlain Park in a key match Tuesday, the Osseo volleyball team hoped to avoid a letdown as they hosted Armstrong. The Falcons play well early. Kelsey Ripberger to Madison Mailing for the tip, and Armstrong is up 19-18. But Osseo pulls out a close one. They set outside to Maddie Shaporster, and she pounds it deep to the corner for the kill, and Osseo wins 25-23. Osseo takes control in the 2nd set. Outside it goes to Christina Bowe, and her hit is returned into the bench. Osseo prevails 25-15. And Osseo pulls away late in the 3rd set as Shia Sanders gets the kill. After a bit of a slow start, Osseo beats Armstrong in 3. In girls swimming and diving, defending state class AA champion Wayzata was looking to wrap up its 2nd straight Lake Conference title as the Trojans played host to Hopkins. Mary Whiting gives Wayzata a slight lead in the butterfly leg of the 200 medley relay. And then Brooke Fontaine, who is a top diver for the Trojans, brings it home as a swimmer, the winning time of 1 minute 57:43. In the 200 freestyle, Wayzata's Marissa Ibarra wins big. Her time 2 minutes 4.34 seconds. The 200 individual medley is close. Wayzata's Sydney Arseth is the winner as the Trojans sweep the top 3 spots in this race. In the 50 free, Wayzata's Maggie Frankie takes gold with a winning time of 25.84. The Trojans win the meet 104.77 to take the Lake Conference Championship, and they have had a great season already.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. We'll be right back. Put a group of seniors in police and fire uniforms, and what do you get? A very unique calendar.
Seniors at Waterford Manor teamed up with the Brooklyn Park Police and Fire Departments to put this together. It was a fun chance for seniors to do something a little different. 94-year-old Vern Bartholomew plays a cop in the calendar, but the role was easy for him. He is a real retired police officer.
That was the person who was putting me in the handcuffs, and my wrists are chafed as a result. He knew exactly what to do with that nightstick. I was a little concerned what he was doing with it, but yeah, he did. He got me across the squad car.
Waterford Manor officials say they've received several calls from the general public requesting the calendars. They're still trying to determine how much to charge. Those are a hoot.
That is a calendar I have not seen before.
There is a chill in the air, but that doesn't mean you can't still enjoy some outdoor fun this weekend.
That's right. In our weekend showcase, Neil Persley takes us to the largest corn maze in Minnesota.
On a big patch of land right at 109th Avenue and Highway 169 North in Brooklyn Park, Bert Bauman and family are in their 5th year of treating the Northwest Metro to their annual Twin Cities Harvest Festival and Maze.
I'm assuming this is the largest wild logo you ever see, probably.
That's because this is the largest corn maze in Minnesota, over 20 acres of corn. This year, Bert partnered with the Minnesota Wild and cut a giant wild logo into his 20-acre corn patch that he carves into a maze each year.
Obviously, we do have helicopter rides here. You could see it for yourself when you go up in the air.
The paths are level, solid, and even wheelchair accessible.
This is the entrance to the maze?
The maze is big.
Let me see where I am here. That's interesting that even I can get a little confused.
But don't worry about getting lost.
We do have very well-trained staff, and they will be able to assist you at any moment that you need.
There are 20 signs stationed around the maze with wild trivia and clues pointing you towards the next waypoint leading to the end of the maze.
To design a maze takes 275 hours.
You can pick up your pumpkins at the Twin Cities Harvest Festival too, or go down the giant slide or maybe climb to the top of the rock wall. And the petting zoo will have something very special.
Beautiful reindeer, and that is Sven and Elsa is making an appearance here.
This could be the perfect family outing. And oh, don't forget the giant corn pit.
From the Twin Cities Harvest Festival and Maze, Bert told me kids love the corn pit, and I can see why. I'm Neil Persley, 12 News. I love corn.
You never know where Neil's going to pop up. That corn maze is open every weekend through October 26th. This year, part of the profits go to the Minnesota Wild Foundation. And last year, Bert's corn maze raised, get this, $15,000 for children's hospitals and clinics in Minnesota. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a great weekend.